Right when I come down here, I first try to avoid all the enemies when possible, and luckily I just found a balloon kit which I need on this game tactics soon. Any weaponry would do now in the first place. I'll try to find other equipment, and as far as I loot here, I find decent things like level 2 vests and also radio backpack, which allows me to be outside of the zone for a moment. And now there's another balloon kit which gives a rather nice edge on winning of this game. Of course, I also take the smoke launcher because I need that in the late stage of the game to at least deceive the enemies. The laser dot is not very useful, despite when you're using it in the pistol. Pistol gives a possibility to use it while you are bicycling or using a vehicle, and it gives a more precise accuracy for shooting without ADS. I was fumbling here in this game with weapons for a moment, from some odd reason. Couldn't decide what kind of weapons I would need. I always use the adrenaline shot first, because it's the only place I would be in ordinary game in a zero boost status, because it takes 20 capacity, so it's easiest to use that first and then start to sort out the pills and also the drinks. And as we know, the pills take 10 pieces of slot and the drink takes just 4 pieces. So the drinks, from some odd reason in this game, have far more better boost to used space ratio than the pills, so I try to avoid keeping the pills on the latest stage of the game. Well, here's obviously no one's here because I'm way off from the plane line, and also I jump always in the very late stage of the plane, so usually people try to jump out as soon as possible in the game. Here in this map there are a few spots which you can use in advance of yours when you have the balloon kit. And I will use both of the balloon kits here in this game in order to avoid any combat in the early stage of the game. This wouldn't be probably any kind of gaming option for people who are action hungry, but I'm playing only for the win this game in this round, not for getting most of the kills. Using the balloon kit usually causes some kind of unwanted attention from the rival players, so I'll try to just go as far away as possible from the enemies, because I already have the radio backpack, which gives me some kind of amount of time to be outside in the blue zone, and also I'll try to avoid any kind of unwanted enemy contact in the time when I'm using the balloon. The first balloon here I'm using, I'll take it to the very edge of the map. As you can see, the blue zone is already coming, but it's not necessary for me now to rush or make any kind of hurry here, because I have 2 of the balloon kits and they are not usable in this map, only in the very late stages of the game, which is not necessary for me. Here was a spot I thought I heard some steps outside, which I considered they were rather unlikely to be actual enemy steps, but some kind of bug in the sound system which gives my own steps as an enemy. Sounding steps outside, which I didn't actually hear, and there was no enemy here, obviously. Alright, fair enough. Let's loot some more, especially the drinks. On my calculation in this map, you need approximately 10 of the boosts to keep yourself boosted up all the time. 10 or 12 would be probably the most obvious amount. So here's the spot for the first balloon. And in this map, unfortunately, when you land from the balloon, everyone sees you when you're coming down from the sky with the parachute. So obviously being in the balloon is rather nice when you're up there, but immediately when you land, unfortunately, you are in the middle of firefight if people are coming to get you. The most best way in this map is to make the enemies to shoot each other, is to go to the airfield and have the glider and drive around the map when everybody fires you, and then reveals their own positions for the enemies who are right next to them in the jungle. So obviously they will shoot each other rather soon. Okay, there's the plane. A few seconds more for me in order to get there. So I attach myself to the line and then going up there like that. It's time to look for the map a bit. I find from the map rather easily very rather tall rock in the middle of the remainder of the zone, so I'll just look for it. There was a possibility for dropping with the parachute also immediately for a crate, which was dropping at the same time, but I didn't use that option. It's easier and more effective for me to just go to the safest spot on this place, so I'll just drop off from the plane and I'll look for that tall rock right next on the circle. Landing on that with a parachute, it's approximately 150 meters away from it. Vertical drop and then parachute opens. I have plenty of time to glide just on the top of that rock, which you can see is a rather safe position to be because there's no one there. And also no one can see you when you are laying on the top of this rock. There's only possibility to see you is very far away from those other hills over there, but it's highly unlikely that no one would see me there. I was seeking, on the other day, I was seeking Wacky Jacky 101's videos, and I figured out that Wacky Jacky said a couple of times that some people were probable cheaters because they didn't have any skins on their account or they were not using any skins. I have almost 1700 hours of the game time for this game and I have never used a single skin. I don't want to use them because using any skin will, when you leave the weapon for another place, it will reveal that that weapon has been already on somebody's possession, and thus it can reveal your existence in the same compound where the enemies come right after you. So I wouldn't like to use any skins just for to conceal my existence if I have already used those weapons. They are left in the weapons when you put them on the ground. And when I loot for ammo, when it's easy to find ammo, for example 5.56s or 7.62s or 9mm, I'll try to take only one ammo from each weapon I find. So I want something like empty a gun right next to it from all of the ammo, because an empty gun in the ground without ammo also reveals that there has been somebody already there. So I take just one, and I'll try to that way conceal that I have already been there. Of course, closing all the doors in the compound is very, very important to minimize the possibility that somebody would see you or know that you are there. Perhaps using hats in this game is the most stupid option to reveal yourself. It's the best way to leave your hat in the first compound you are, and then when you exchange it for a helmet, then you will reveal that you're already here. I have a couple of times I accidentally find a guy, or first I find a guy's hat in a compound, and then I find later the guy right behind my crosshair, when I knew and I was capable of expecting the enemy player because of the hat he or she has left to the same compound when exchanging it to the helmet. So I'll never use any hats in this game. Besides of that, I always try to use as much of brown and gray colors in order to camouflage myself. That would probably be the best option. I just tested there, as you noticed, that I was already using, and I aborted the use for the next balloon kit. I was testing that I can actually launch on that place the next balloon kit. I will need it later on this game. Here I was tinkering with an idea that perhaps I would have 2 of the balloon kits and I could hide inside of them by using them as a small line, because these are two-dimensional, they're just sprites, so you can't actually hit these balloon kits, and it's a rather large object, so I was figuring out that perhaps I could hide inside this kind of object, so enemies wouldn't see me there. But of course there wasn't any enemies to see me in the first place here, so obviously it was no reason for that. Well, here I try some hiding. At least my head went in there. I'm not sure if this works. I have to review this video if this gives a possibility to hide inside a balloon kit. I wouldn't recommend hiding in a line of fuel canisters. Any kind of shots right next to you will explode them, so those wouldn't be a good option. I'll try to keep myself continuously boosted here. And as you can see, that this place to use the boost was rather good, because the can didn't roll out from the cliff, and if there would be any enemies right in the below side or the below lip of the cliff, they would notice my drink can to drop there. I have shot a couple of guys in this game because they were carelessly drinking or using the pills, and the case was rolling on the ground, and I saw that. So it takes a couple of seconds to make that drink or pill case to, after using it, it disappears, but it rolls somewhere, and in rooms it rolls randomly, I think. Right? So here you can see phase 3 is coming now at the end after 5 seconds, and the area is coming here. So there's an obvious case in my mind now that I'm way off from the next circle, and the next circle is after 50 seconds approximately now. So I'll be here waiting, and I'll be seeing once again this balloon kit. I'm not using it yet. I was considering here that perhaps I should use the balloon kit at approximately in the same moment here than the phase 4 ticks for the 30 seconds line, because it takes approximately 30 seconds to get that balloon kit on the air and aeroplane coming. So I'm not sure if I'm too much off. I guess I still have time here before the blue zone comes to get to the airplane and then to the next circle. When I'm using this balloon kit, I would like to be in the air, in mid-air, or in the hanging in the plane when I see the even smaller next circle, because then I can make a decision of landing site right next to in the middle of the next circle. So obviously there would be a very good time for using this kit, the way that you're still on the air when you can see that where the next circle is going. So now I'm in the air, As you can see, I'll enter the next circle, and once again I noticed that there is a cliff over there, almost in the middle of the zone, so I'll just try to end there once more. It's rather likely that the enemy will see now me when I'm landing at the top of this cliff, but unfortunately also this cliff provides me with a decent cover from fire coming down from the jungle, so I can be shot only from very far distances here. So there's plenty of time to take some drinks, and I can hear even shots. There you can see the weapons crate dropping right next to me, so it's rather obvious that it will take some attention, and I wouldn't like to risk my game going there to get some equipment which I don't currently need. You can see there the enemy rather far away, and there's a good place for a few shots with a suppressed weapon. Okay, he's off. He was already wounded by another one, so I had a rather good run shooting just what was left of him. And besides of that, he was outside of the area, if I saw correctly, so he was already losing some health on that. Alright, fair enough. As you can see, now my situation worsens a bit. The next circle wouldn't be on this cliff anymore, so I have to move eventually when the next one comes after 29 seconds. And there's another guy. I'll give a few shots for him. Okay. As you can see, being a lousy shot in this, it's not a good idea to stay put and on the plain side when you're laying on a prone in this kind of high cliff, because I would be an easy target with a sniper rifle from that distance. So I have to take a drink here, waiting for the next phase to come, and as you can see, it's now entering. 50 seconds for the next circle, and unfortunately I have to try to find my way on this rock. Right, there I already saw an enemy. I'm away from the left side of the rock to cover it out, so I'll just go on the top of it and then I'll move here to some kind of shelter here. As you can see, this side of the rock doesn't contain as much of ledge space than the other did, so I have to jump very carefully right here. There's my next customer. Let's see. There he goes. And there he dies. I'm a lousy shot, as you can see. I'm not very good at the shooting, so I have to try to play avoiding the combat instead of running to the every combat. Hiding in bush here, it's rather safe because I already shot a guy 10 seconds ago, and I would be by far dead if there would be anyone on the left side of me, which was the only side to see me here. 4 people left, 3 besides me. Now I'm looking for enemies, and as you can see from the map, I'll try to make this the way that I'll use these smokes as a decoy, so I'll shoot them off from here. Let's see what happens. They're both shot rather far away from me. Okay, now comes the phase 6, so I have to start moving. And fortunate for me, there was a small canyon. Here I found that, and it was a very good present for me in a sense that it provided cover from both sides, where the enemies were rather much on this place. Here you can see the start of the canyon, so it's easiest to just go there, find the first bush, and then all the enemies are luckily now on the other side of the map. I'll just stay here in the bush for a moment. Let's see. I'll go forward by the prone in this canyon. Since I could hear the enemies who would be right next to me on the sides, I'll just take the sniper rifle with me. So I'm now also in the next circle, and the next phase will come after 35 seconds approximately now. So enemies are all silent. They are now in the sneaking phase. I mean, in this phase of the game, I was rather sure that there was somebody in that cabin right in the middle of the next circle, but that was a wrong estimate in this position. Shots fired there, but no reason to fire back because any firing would now reveal me, even if I would have now the rather silent weapon with me. So I'll just go prone forward in this high grass. I'm so close at the enemies, so the high grass will be also drawn in their game. Now they're shooting each other there, and there's a guy running on the left side. He couldn't see me because I'm also in the high grass now. He's concentrated on the two of the other guys who are shooting each other over there. So, just 3 of us left now. The guy right next to me, behind that tree over there, and the guy across the road. Okay, they're now firing each other. Hear that? It's rather easy to hear. I'm now inside the next circle. Now I can see the grenade spamming going over there. It's a rather much of the grenades. He's rather low there, as you can see. Approximately 40% healing up. And now they are sneaking for each other. Any kind of firing from me in this position would be very stupid. They would both shoot me, and I'm not in a decent position to defend myself here. So I'll try to go in the side prone behind this cottage. Now I have to follow the sounds of combat very closely. I'll keep my headphones the way that I can hear those shots. And now the last shots were the guy who shot from the other side of the road. So it's obvious that he's there. I saw him. A few flashbangs like this. Another one. There it goes, and he's behind the tree. Bam! This is done. That concludes this mission. Thank you.